Welcome to Irish Nation. This is episode 7. We are already nearly at the end of the season, which is crazy how quick it's gone by. But yeah. I am your host, Kate Carpenter, and I'm joined alongside in studio, as always, by the man of the cloth, Mr. Mark Howard. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing well this week. I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the game and look forward to the next game.
I like that blue. That blue looks good.
Does it make my eyes pop?
It does. That's exactly why you chose it. So looking back at last week's game, obviously it was a heartbreaker. It was a tough one.
It was.
It was not easy by any means, and it was a hard one to go through. But my perspective on the whole thing, I thought our kids played really hard, really well. That was evident. They played to the last whistle, full effort, full display.
Yes.
They did the best to execute the game plan that they had, and man, they put their whole heart into it. So kids competed really well. You have to stop and look at things, because at the beginning of the season, some of the goals was you look at, okay, we want to beat Wheeler, we want to have a winning season, and we want to win a playoff game. Right now, for sure you didn't beat Wheeler, and it looks unlikely that we would finish with a winning record. We'd probably finish 5-5. I'm not counting our eggs before the hatch, but you're looking at 5-5, playoff matchup against Sunray. So your winning season and your playoff win are pretty unlikely at this point. Just a fair observation. My advice and perspective on this is go, and now the pressure's off. You don't have any pressure to beat Wheeler. You don't have any pressure to get a winning season. You don't have a pressure to win a playoff game. But go play, have fun, enjoy the rest, especially seniors, enjoy the rest of your senior year, play hard, and makes a difference, and make a legacy for yourself at Shamrock by the way you play, playing with character, not quitting, not giving up. And we still have history to make.
That's right.
We have 2 receivers. We've never had a 1,000-yard receiver. We have 2 of them, Braxton Allen and Rodney Holmes. They're sitting at, Allen's sitting at 646 receiving yards and Rodney 655. They could be both, if not one of them, the first 1,000-yard receiver in a single season at Shamrock. Allen will have the most career receiving yards. He'll probably get past 2,000. He's close to it. And then you have Philip Cook, who's about to be the first 2,000-yard passer in Shamrock in a season, in a single season at Shamrock. So a lot of good history to make. I make this note about playing hard, and because that's what they've done all the way through. Doesn't matter if the game's winnable. You play hard, you don't quit, and they've done this really well. The reason this is important at this point in the season, if one athlete you hear people talk about all the time still is Darryl Calloway, because the way he played, how he played the game, a lot of people mention Darryl. They remember Darryl. Darryl, his senior season, finished 5-5. And so they had a 5-5 season, but people still remember the way Darryl played. So I think you look at still celebrating and looking at achieving individual accolades, which are some awesome ones to achieve, and have fun the rest of the way. So that's where I stand right now. Curious to get your input or your take on it.
You know, I agree on a lot of the things that you said. I think what I would want to encourage the guys is that, okay, so we're toward the last of the season, but the season is not finished yet.
Right.
And so one of the things we said at the beginning was finish strong, whether it's the game, the season, whatever it might be. And we were hoping, that we would go into the playoffs and go deeper into the playoffs and all that. Regardless of that, finish strong.
Right.
And so you've got some winnable games coming up. You've got games, that are going to be challenging. Regardless, just play hard. And I think that is fun, to play hard and to do your best. That's fun. And so have fun with it. Like you say, and I like this, pressure's off.
Yeah.
So go out there and make some plays. 2, I would say for the fans of Shamrock, that now we do this program, and you and I talk about this a lot. We do this program, and we're glad that people are out there, and we're getting some people listening, and it's always fun to go up in the stands and have people have conversations around things that we've talked about in the program. But our main purpose for this program is to support Shamrock Athletics, the football team right now. We want to support these guys. And I would really encourage the fans to remain supportive. So continue to show up. We've had some pretty good crowds at our football game, and
Yeah.
it's been pretty positive. I hear people yelling for the boys, not against things, against the refs or against, what's going on. And I like that. And I think the whole thing adds up together. The players playing hard, the fans doing a great job of cheering them on. That's what makes high school football fun.
Yeah.
And so we've got some good, fun stuff left before us. So let's go.
I agree. And if you disagree, there's some highlights, catches. I think some of the best catches I've seen in this last
It
game.
was pretty impressive.
Holy heck.
Yeah.
You got a QB that can sling it. You got Luna on defense that's just snapping people in half. There's some fun football. It is enjoyable. And that's what I love is, man, you can almost kind of play calculated, but a little bit of reckless abandonment, like just go all out and enjoy it, make the most of what you got in this senior year. And I want to make this really clear. I see us beating Quanah and Memphis. Clarendon they got momentum. They got a player they switched to quarterback that's killing it. They got a lot of good things going, and they are on a roll. I think they've won, 5 straight games?
Something like that.
They're on a roll.
And I mean, not just won them, they dominated.
Yeah, dominated.
This is what I expected from Clarendon
Right.
at the beginning of the year. That's what I'm seeing right now.
And I don't, looking at Clarendon, a lot of people talk about Lyric Smith, and he's elite, but okay, they got Lyric Smith. We have Braxton, we have Rodney, we have Phillip, we have Jeremiah. There's one I'm missing. Terry. Yeah. Gosh, sorry. How the heck did I miss Terry? But I knew, I was like, one of those, I'm missing someone. But we got 5 of those guys that are elite. We'll have to change up some game plans, but I think we have an effective game plan. That could be a heck of a game. But they are talented. Clarendon's well coached. Aaron Wampler he went to West Texas A&M University. I watched him play football there. He knows football, and he coached up Boys Ranch, and now he's coaching up Clarendon. So that'll be a very competitive game. And I don't see it just be a tough one to win. We can win, but that's what I say on that when I talk about winning season or playoffs.
Sure.
On that. But I agree wholeheartedly with what you said. Like, keep the support there. At the very bare minimum, you won't find more entertaining football. It is fun.
It's fun to watch.
And so a couple things happened in that game. One, shout out to Kelly Gilbert. Appreciate her big time because she films the games from the stands. I get the sideline view, but she films from our stands. And it's huge for her to do because her son Leighton plays football. And him playing football, it's really hard as a parent to film the game, and you really can't watch your kid individually. So it's a big sacrifice for her to do that. She does it every game, films, does a fantastic job. Well, Leighton got hit hard, and he had to go leave and get checked out in the hospital for a concussion. And this is about the second half. So I don't have any film from the stands the second half. And then I honestly got kind of worried about Leighton in the fourth quarter. And so I left in the fourth quarter to figure out what was going on with Leighton. And then they actually came in right in whenever I was going to see that. So I didn't get the awesome highlight with Terry stripping the ball away and scoring. There's a lot of stuff and it stinks because we had an amazing amount of highlights, like probably some of the best highlights I've ever seen. We do have a few clips, but it's mainly first half action. So I don't have a highlight film, but we still do have some players of the game that we want to acknowledge and look at. And so, Pastor Mark, I'll have you take our but before we get into this, gotta say this really quick.
Yeah.
Only one time we have done when it comes to awards that we give. One time this season we've given co-awards, and it was to O-line and to quarterback. I think we did that against Sundown. We try not to do that, but it was very apparent on offense and defense. There was 2 guys that they really both should have been mentioned. And so very few times we do this, but we're not going to not do it and shaft somebody. But we did have a Irish Nation player of the game, which I'll let you take that, Pastor Mark.
Irish Nation player of the game, Mr. Phillip Cook. Phillip had a night, guys.
Oh, man.
We call him the chef because he cooks.
That's right.
That's
sure
right. He completed
sauce.
73% of his passes. If you're at the game, some of these passes were amazing. There were several of these passes that he was on the run. He would set and throw a dime. I mean, it was really, really. I thought passing wise, and he's had good games. I thought this was his best passing game.
I agree.
He had 19 out of 26. That's 73%. 276 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. He was our most effective runner on the night.
He was.
And so he also added 9 tackles on defense just to round that out. And so 6 of those were solo tackles. That is a great game by any stretch of the imagination. And Philip has done that consistently all year. But I really felt like, particularly passing, that was his best game. He had a great game.
And this is what sealed it for me for MVP. You talk about rushing. He had a 140-yard run that was really great.
Yeah.
I think he had 60 or something odd rushing yards. I don't have it written down, but he did really well. So passing was on point, efficient. Rushing was very good. Defense was excellent. Oh, and he's also an all-district punter who had some incredible punts. And so I'm like, okay, this guy really did it all. And he's sometimes I forget how good of a punter Philip is because we haven't had to punt a whole lot this season. But when he punts, gosh, he's good. Great hang time. He gets good distance on it. Always gets a good roll. I've never seen it roll the opposite way. So, that to me was just clear from special teams to defense, offense.
All the way around.
Yeah. So heck of a job, Philip. Well deserved. Proud of you. You've had an incredible season. And then our offensive player of the game. This is co-award. So our co-offensive players of the game is number 1, Rodney Holmes, and 14, Braxton Allen. Both of these guys just did tremendous, incredible. Braxton made the most of his 4 receptions with 66 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Allen also had a key forced fumble on defense. Then Mr. Reliable, if I had to give him names, I would say Braxton would be Mr. Clutch and Rodney would be Mr. Reliable. And Rodney Holmes went off for 170 receiving yards on 12 receptions. He had a receiving touchdown as well as 2 really good catches for two-point conversions. And then he also had 7 tackles on defense. But Rodney did tremendous, and he's been a reliable target all season long. And what I love about Rodney is he will jump up and he will get a catch, and he will jump up and get clocked. But as long as he gets that ball, he'll get it. And he holds on to some catches I saw. I don't know how he held on to it. And he had one catch in the end zone late in the 4th. It looked like his foot was down. Tough angle for the ref, but it really looked like his foot was down. Incredible receiver. Him and Braxton both. And I don't know which one was a more impressive one-handed catch, Braxton Allen's in the end zone or Rodney's in center field in stride. It was incredible catches. So congrats to Rodney Holmes and Braxton Allen. Great game by both the co-offensive players of the game.
Had the same kind of situation as far as the defense is concerned, co-defensive players of the game, because there were some guys that just really lit it up. Yeah. And I think Terry Minifield, number 10, Jeremiah Luna, number 33, we called their names a lot through the year, and that's because they just continue to have really good games on defense. Jeremiah went crazy. He had 17 tackles, 11 solo tackles. 11's a good night for anybody. He had 11 solo tackles, had 17 tackles altogether. He is a dominant defensive player. He plays defense the way it's supposed to be played. He's getting better and better as the season goes on. Just a great, great game, Jeremiah. And then Terry, it's so fun. It's so fun to have Terry on the field, both offensively and defensively. He didn't have as big an impact offensively in this game, but he had a huge impact defensively.
Yeah.
He had the second most tackles. He had 11 total tackles. 8 of those were solo. And then had the play that you mentioned earlier. He stripped a runner. He stripped the quarterback from Wheeler and ran the ball into the end zone for a touchdown on defense when we needed. That kept us in the game at that point. And they were able to ice the game. But, boy, he put the pressure on them. And I tell you, it just occurs to me that one of the things we say all the time is we want to see these guys play and not quit, not lay off. There's an example of that. It would have been an easy thing just to kind of lay over and go, well, we're down a couple of scores. And what does Terry do? He goes, strips the ball, and makes a touchdown. Now, that's Irish football.
Amen.
And Terry exemplifies that.
That's right. There's no quit in these guys, and I love that. They all played really, really hard. And I'll give an honorable mention here to Gunnar Turan. Gunnar had his best game all season, and he's gotten better every game, and he did really, really well. I think he had 8 tackles, but good job, Gunnar Turan. He did an excellent job. Number 12, heck of a game. But yeah, Terry and Jeremiah, and I was thinking about this too with Jeremiah. Do you remember when Jeremiah had a bad game? Because I don't.
No.
Going all the way back to his freshman year, I can't think of, some players, even great players, I go, man, they had an off night. I don't know how he plays at the level he plays and consistently. It's unreal.
He's undersized
Yeah.
for, where he plays, and yet he's strong for his size.
Yeah.
And he's athletic. But I think the best thing about Jeremiah is he just has a sense of the game. He's got a nose for the ball. He's a smart player, and he makes really quick decisions. Once he decides to get to the ball, he's going to get there, and he's going to get there quick, full speed.
Yep.
Doesn't go halfway to anything.
He does not. No hesitation. Fun to watch. And, of course, love Terry. Love the way he plays and the heart that he put into that. That was pretty awesome to watch him do that. So, special teams player of the game, we alluded to this earlier. You talk about someone that's had consistent punts and has done well and did really well against Wheeler. Man, Philip Cook did an incredible job punting. I'm amazed. He's a very good punter, very, very underrated. And so Philip Cook is our special teams player of the game. Special mention with that as well. Rodney Holmes had some really good kick returns. With the pressure that was on the punting game and how well Philip punted, we felt like that was the right call with that. And then play of the night. And to me, again, this to me is bigger than a play. It personifies these guys' attitude, their mentality, and the way they play the game. But Terry Minifield stripping the ball away and going and scoring, and just that attitude that they have of we're not going to give up, we're not going to quit, we're going to stick with this. I love seeing that. So that to me, because of what it showed and what it personified, as much as the play was big.
Right.
That's been kind of the heart of the team. And I'll let you take the hit of the night.
Well, the hit of the night was Colt Machina. I tell you, number 2, and I think Colt may have had his best game too. We've seen him kind of stepping up game to game, but he was very aggressive. And on defense, it might have been hits of the night, because it wasn't just one tackle, wasn't just one hit.
Yeah.
But there was one particular hit that where Colt came up, met the runner.
Yeah.
Perfect form tackle, stuck his face guard right into the center of the chest of the guy, and just took him back, took him down, and it was pretty. It sounded good.
Yeah, there you go.
I love those hits that sounded good. That had some pop to it.
It did.
And I think maybe the best thing after that was that he just hopped up and walked away.
Yeah, pulled a Terry Minifield.
He did a Terry Minifield. So hit of the night, Colt Machina. It was a good one.
Yeah, good job, bud. So now to preview our next game that we're looking at with the Quanah Indians. Now, Quanah has been a team that struggled. They've really they've had a down year, but they did find something. They got a win. They have a district win. They're 1-1. They beat Memphis. They did fall to Clarendon last week, but they do have a district win, and they're wanting to hunt for the playoffs. They're wanting to be in the playoffs. So it's a hungry team, and it is a team that I think we can't sleep on. We can't look ahead. We got to take every game matters from this point on,
yes,
and we got to play full out. But an exciting thing just to look forward to in this game individually is Philip Cook, who's done tremendous at the quarterback position all year long. He has 1,727 passing yards on the season. Now, he only needs 273 more passing yards to get 2,000. That would make him the first quarterback in Shamrock history to have 2,000 passing yards in a single season. So, there's 2 things we're going to do about that. One, we have a professional stat keeper in the stands. They'll be keeping live stats, so we know in real time if he gets 273 or more.
That's kind of like the Guinness Book of World Records guy.
And the person that's taking these stats knows what they're doing and is serious about it. So I have someone very trusted taking stats in real time. That way we know. And the reason we're doing this is because if he gets 2,000 yards after the game, Mark and I we have a gift for him.
We do.
And we said we'd do it at the beginning of the season. We're going to do it. But he's going to get a custom made. It's already arrived. We already have it.
Yeah.
It's a custom made chef apron and chef hat. And it's got Chef Cook written on it. And it's also got something else commemorating his season success on the apron. And we'll present that to him at the end of the game. Get him the chef hat and the apron if he gets 2,000 yards.
Now listen, Philip, you need to listen. No pressure.
Right.
We've already got the stuff purchased. We've
Just go do.
We've laid the money out. No pressure.
That's right. Hey, you got it. And if you don't get it this game, we'll have other opportunities to get it. But I think there's a pretty high probability that he gets it this game. That's exciting. And I'm also keeping close tabs on Braxton Allen and Rodney Holmes.
Yeah,
because if we can get 2 receivers in one season with 1,000 receiving yards, that's pretty significant.
It is.
And awesome. So look into that game, things aside, players to watch. You want me to give mine first?
You give yours first, and I'll give mine.
All right. So Quanah is the Quanah Indians. And one thing that I respect about Indians, especially Native American Indians, is they have a healthy fear of bears. They know what bears can do.
Oh, yeah.
And they know the damage that can happen. So they respect those animals, especially bears.
Respect the bear.
So that's what I'll tell you. Respect the bear and don't poke the bear, because my player to watch is number 35, Logan Chase.
The bear.
The bear is his nickname. I've seen him. He's an easy player to watch to do.
Yeah. And
he's so fun because he puts full effort, full display, and man, he rocks people when he tackles them. So that's my warning to Quanah is respect the bear and don't poke the bear. So that's my player to watch. Number 35, Logan Chase. Who you got?
Well, so here's the deal. I really have appreciated our offensive line this year. I think particularly on pass protection, pass blocking, I think they are excellent. Yeah. I really do. And I just took an opportunity during the Wheeler game just to watch the offensive line, just really concentrate on them. And I saw something. I saw Jesse Ramos. And I knew he was having a good year, knew he was doing a good job snapping, but he really, really anchors that line. And it is evident. I think Jesse is going to he's probably going to have the kind of game that he's already been having this year, but linemen don't get a lot of notice. And I wanted to call attention to the fact Jesse Ramos is going to have a great game. And, as a little caveat, he's one of our more successful runners.
That's right. Hey, maybe a rushing touchdown.
I'm looking for that hook and ladder.
Yeah.
I'm looking for that again. But man, I just think Jesse's just having a great year. I think he's a really, really fun player to watch. A little addition to that would be when you're looking down that line, Jesse does a good job. They all do, but I really enjoy watching Ricardo.
Mm-hmm.
He plays really hard and does a good job during
so
just to call a little attention, give a little love to the offensive line. Yeah, I think they're going to have a big game against Quanah. Let me go on to say this. I believe we may have our top passing game against Quanah. I really do. I just got a feeling that you may have 3 receivers there in the 100-yard range.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say to do when you have frustration and anger built up? Air it out.
Yeah.
Air it out. That's what I say to do.
Air it out.
But a mention here as well, because Eric Villegas actually played for half of the game, played center, stepped in and played center. Yeah. Did really well. Jesse, talking about that. So when I think of just if I had to do like a word association, one word association, when I think of players like, Rodney, I think of reliable.
Yes.
I think of Braxton, I think of clutch. Terry, I think of tough.
Yeah.
And for Jesse, I'd say consistent. It's very, very hard. You do not get a whole lot of love at the center position.
Uh-uh.
And it takes one mistake for people to bury you and get upset. But he's been very consistent all year long.
Yes.
So great job, Jesse. And Ricardo pays a lot of attention to footwork and technique. And I think that pays a lot of dividends. So Shout out to those guys. It'll be an exciting game. So we will be playing the Quanah Indians at home, El Paso Field in Shamrock, Texas this Friday. If you want exciting football on both sides of the ball to watch, you are missing out if you do not watch the Shamrock Fighting Irish team. They got a lot of fun players to watch, and I guarantee you there'll be highlights, must-see highlights. So we will see you Friday night at El Paso Field.
Go Irish.